Hi, everyone. It's Michael Louth with IBM. I'm here with my good friend Andrew Latinsky, who's with Pricer. Pricer is a company that sells electronic shelf labels to retail, really globally, one of the largest sellers of electronic shelf labels. In this chart, you can really see the maturity of what happens as people start using and implementing electronic shelf labels. They go from using them to simply reduce labor in the store and reduce printing costs to implementing pricing more dynamically, tying it in better with what the consumers are actually looking to spend for products, and ultimately really maximizing both their sales as well as profitability. So this week, what we wanted to do was talk to you a little bit about how we actually do this, using something that we call the IBM Garage in order to maximize hyper-local pricing. So think of it as store-by-store pricing at store level. Once we have this understanding of what this store-level pricing should be, we can then take this pricing and shoot it directly to the shelf for the consumer through the electronic shelf labels. Here's an example of a store that might decide that they want to put a piece of meat on sale. As you may know, stores, when they're creating their circulars, they are weeks, even months out. Creating that finalized pricing is happening long before they actually know what the weather's going to be like in the store, what the inventory levels will be like in the store. And so they may go out and they may decide that the right chain level is $10.99, but using better understanding of what's happening at store level from a local event standpoint. Maybe they understand the demographics around each store a little bit better. So this is the use of all of this external data. Using the IBM Garage, they can go from understanding a store level price at, let's say, $10.99 and understanding that the best price for this specific store might be $11.99 based on the people that live around the store, the events around the store, etc. As we're getting closer to the actual event, they may have a better understanding of what's going to happen going into the weekend of this sale. Remember, the circular was printed a month before the sale is actually happening. Now, days before, we understand how much inventory is in the store, the weather is, maybe the sun is out and it's really nice, people are going to the store. And so based on this, they may actually understand how it would make sense to lower the price even further in order to really drive sales. Maybe they even have deep inventory and they're doing it for that reason. And so this is a great example of where a store coming in might understand initially there's a great price to put things at from a total chain level. Then they go in, they use the IBM Garage in order to understand from an analytics standpoint, we're better off not going with one price across the entire chain. We're better off going with different prices in each store, or at least in each region, based on our understanding of those regions. And then days before the actual event, we might go in and we might make changes based on what's happening around that store. Andrew, maybe you could talk to us a little bit about how Pricer can take this information and help us to drive it to the shelf in real time.
Thanks again, Mike. Last week, we discussed recent trends of electronic shelf labels and how they've evolved from digital price tags to an integral part of creating customer loyalty. Retailers have progressed rapidly, moving price to a digital label, which removes the constraint of human interaction that is prone to latency and error in getting the right price to the right product on the right shelf in a timely manner. Still today, many pricing processes are structured around these same constraints, sacrificing revenues and associated margins. Mike just finished describing the depth and breadth by which IBM can enhance price and product information based on an internal and external data sources enhanced by AI at the local store level. This also suggests this activity is as dynamic as pricing and product information on e-commerce sites, which we know can change frequently, sometimes several times per day, let alone per week. This is a very different model than the days of overnight batch prices being updated once a week or even once per month, labels printed, and then the arduous process of utilizing store associates to update the shelf when time allows. The vision of attaining unconstrained pricing velocity synchronized across all channels is here today. It is very real. This opens up a whole new door of unified commerce opportunities at the store level and across the retailer's enterprise that delivers customer loyalty through a connected store. Of course, the store systems that consume this information as part of the digital transformation cannot themselves be a constraint. The ability to update 30,000 electronic shelf labels per hour, several times per day, even repeatedly on the same label, needs to be scalable and predictable system with adequate power. That is why radio frequency systems are becoming obsolete, and top retailers who deploy this automation across an enterprise turn to Pricer's unique and proven technology utilizing diffused light. We will learn more about the differences in later broadcasts regarding these two technologies. As always, if you need additional information, feel free to contact Mike or myself. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.